coming out to the spirit room tonight. My name is Holly. I'm the gallery manager here. And we have the pleasure tonight of having Nikki Marie and her exhibit, Northern Stardust, paper folk art, which I always get wrong, so that's why I looked at it. So, by all means, my dear, thank you.
Thank you, Holly. This is my very first gallery exhibition. I've been doing local heritage events in the Fargo-Moorhead area for the last 4 or 5 years now. It'll be my 5th year at the Scandinavian Festival this weekend over at the Yumcomps. I wanted to recreate a few of my favorites from my first exhibition, like the mini red holly wreaths. Those have been kind of like a classic since the very beginning. Also my paper cuckoo clocks, they've sort of become like my signature. I think with like a traditional folk art, you want to honor the original form as much as possible, but also as an artist, you want to put your own sort of spin on it and your own little take. And so I've also been awarded an apprenticeship through the North Dakota Council on the Arts to study Scherenschnitt and Nicki, German and Polish paper cutting. And I've been trying to integrate some of the techniques into some of my pieces. I like to do a lot of like birds and star imagery. I was asked by Sabrina over at HPR, the High Plains reader, why I was drawn to those imageries. And I think it's because in Scandinavia, they have similar winters to us in the northern states, really long and harsh winters, and they like to have traditions that create decorations to help brighten up the space and add light to get them through the dark times. And so it's something I kind of relate to and think is kind of neat. Any questions? Short and sweet today.
There are, of course, questions.
Okay, good.
I'm not even going to attempt to say the things that you just said. What were those? The Scherenschnitt
and Nicki.
Can you elaborate more? What is that?
Well, Scherenschnitt is a paper cutting technique. It's really similar to like making paper snowflakes, where you take a paper, fold it in half, and you cut designs out. It's a silhouette at the end. So you'll see like on my some of the wings, I have leaves on some of them. I wanted to integrate more, but of course time is short.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This little guy here's got some leaves. So is that what both of those things are, or is that?
Similar to, they're just similar techniques. The paper weaving is definitely the main event, which is more of a Scandinavian and German traditional art form, traditionally done in birch bark, or they will actually dip the paper stars in wax and then sometimes sprinkle glitter on the wax while it's still warm.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Have you ever tried doing that?
No, not yet. Wax is kind of, it scares me a little bit to dip something paper, but I mean, it's been done, so maybe someday. I'm used to glue and glitter.
Most of the bases of your work, is that one piece of paper, or are those?
No, it's just multiple stars over and over and over again, and I kind of just put them together in different ways, and they are pieced together. And each star is 4 strips of paper, fold in half, and then you work with 8 ends. So every step is repeated 8 times.
Jeez. So how do they stay together?
They sort of interlock together, but I do add glue just so they won't like fall apart.
That's so impressive.
Thanks.
Does your own ethnic background include a paper cutting tradition?
Well, I'm Norwegian, and Norway also claims the stars, along with many other Scandinavian countries and Germany. And I started doing the stars because I saw them at the Yumcomps, and I've been doing them to kind of learn a little bit more of my own heritage and kind of connect to the community in that way. And since they are an old folk art, people will come up to my booth and they'll light up with recognition because like, oh, they used to do them, or they used to get them from their aunts, and I think it's kind of a neat thing. They'll show they'll share stories and memories, and I just think I wouldn't get that any other way.
How did you come to start?
I saw them at the Youngtoms, and I just kind of thought they were really neat. I love paper. Vintage paper is one of my favorite things, like vintage sheet music and old maps. And I just taught myself how to make them.
So much patience.
I like the tedious work and like precision and anything like mathematical or symmetrical and things.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of math that goes into that.
Yep.
I was watching a documentary yesterday about the origami in Japan,
Oh, sure.
and it's gotten so intricate that the top designers of origami have started developing computer programs to map
help,
out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I believe that 100%. In fact, this one is Danish, and it's a design for a sphere, and they did that mathematically for the pattern, and then I just kind of modified it into a hot air balloon. So that one's skanky too.
How do you even think to do that?
Well, they had a model similar, but I wanted to put my own spin on it.
Where do you find all your papers?
Everywhere. My husband, I've gotten him into vintage paper too, and my parents actually will find sheet music for me and be like, oh, here's a stack.
Aww.
So we kind of like hunting at like flea markets or antique shops and things like that.
Is there a certain type that you feel works best?
Certain sheet music is the best because it's like archival paper. It's really strong. Some is not. It's really brittle and it's unweavable. You just can't. It will break. But anything in here, like the metallics with like the shimmer, those are probably like the best. They're the sturdiest and easiest to weave, I would say. But when you get like textures or thickness or like age, like the brittleness, you can't do it. It's not fun. It's got to be fun.
It's only part vintage paper and some is new, like the
Right.
shiny, and so it's a combination.
Yep, a lot of the bases are vintage just because I love them the most. And then I'll add more modern metallic shimmer, textural something, handmade marbled fabric or things like
You
that.
mentioned glitter. Is it spray glitter or how do you glitter?
I use spray adhesive for the mini reds, and then I douse it in
Okay.
like a really fine glitter, and then I will do a thin coat of sealer to help with glitter fallout because otherwise it's a glitter bomb.
Have you thought about making your own paper to make these?
Yep, I thought about it. I keep all my scraps, which is a little insane, but hoping to someday maybe kind of start that process. Be kind of neat to do.
Do you
I've
keep
done a
your...
little marbling before, but
It's a little different
it's a
though.
little different.
Do you keep your stuff organized or do you just chuck it all into one big?
Well, they're organized to me, but you'll find like bags of like the different projects. You'll see like, this one, blue and music, so there'll be like a bag of that somewhere, or yeah, only like the special paper gets like saved. The brown paper I don't, but
I suppose there's no real reason to save the brown paper.
no,
'cause
the
it's
brown
common
paper,
enough.
the cuckoos are actually made out of brown paper bags. Like if I go shopping around town at the breadsmith, they have a really awesome thick brown paper bag with blue accents, and I make blue cuckoos out of those.
Wow, you never know that.
Yeah, I know.
Fred Smith was in the name of something.
Yeah.
Did I see that?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the reds are Trader Joe's. Yeah.
Awesome. The roses are new?
Those are new. I saw something similar on Instagram, another paper artist out of Spain. Her name is Nicole too, and I messaged her. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. She does variations on the stars, and I grow roses in my rose garden. It's very summer to me, and my mom used to call me Rosebud as a kid.
Oh.
That's kind of
Is it
personal.
made from the same four weavers that the star is made from?
Yep, the base is, and then you piece in other pieces.
Okay.
Yep, for extra petals. But the base is definitely the same as the star.
That's pretty cool. They're really nice.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
love them.
Did you have a background in any other artistic medium, or was this your debut?
I used to collage a lot in high school, so I just always had a love of paper, but And I dabble in a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I rosemall a little bit, but I'm not good. But I appreciate the art form.
Which I suppose that's the most important thing,
Yeah,
is
I
the
think
appreciation
so.
behind it. Had something else and I forgot what it was.
Do you have any pieces that are just one continuous sheet of paper?
One continuous sheet of paper. No, all of them are strips. Technically, the singular stars are origami because you start off with 4 strips that are exactly the same. It's when I start like piecing them together that they're not technically origami anymore. If you use glue, they don't like
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, it doesn't
and
count.
the birds are 2 pieces of paper, one for each wing.
Wow.
By the way, it's a lot of piecing, a lot of strips.
Do you cut with a knife or scissors?
Scissors.
Even the very fine?
Yep.
This is the tiny, sharp?
Sometimes I will use embroidery scissors. I've worked with X-Acto knives, but I'm really used to scissors.
I guess it comes down to that.
Yep.
What would you say you average is in like time for a
Good-
piece?
Good question. The singular stars, I always say that it takes 1 or 2 songs on the radio to complete. But that doesn't count cutting or gluing or stringing or glittering or anything like that.
So that's just for one of the stars though,
Yep.
that's not,
Yep, and it's just repeat, repeat, repeat.
so you're talking like 10 minutes per star? Like
Well,
about-
one star, maybe 4 minutes, everything goes well.
Hmm.
If I'm really hauling for just like the basic. But then, you know, multiply it for every piece.
Yeah.
A lot of them have 8. I like the rings a lot.
Piece right behind you is the birds, the paper painted.
That one is marbled and,
Marbled paper, okay.
yeah, it is paint. It's got like a metallic paint on top, which is
Uh-huh.
really cool.
Those are-
And I spray painted the background. It was a gold paper, but I like that copper color and it kind of
Yeah,
plays with the purple a little bit.
yeah, the
Yeah.
lawns and things, yeah.
Yeah,
It's really pretty.
thank you.
Yeah. All right, I think I've tormented you enough.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.